Hi everyone, welcome back. This is the third lecture in the Engineering Mechanic Dynamic series. The last lecture was quite lengthy and hence I had decided to make today's topic very brief. In the earlier class, we had expressed the equations for finding the position, the velocity and acceleration using the integral equations of motion for rectilinear motion. Now, the same aspects, that is the velocity, acceleration and position, may also be expressed graphically, since these corresponding motion parameters has got a geometric significance. Now, graphical interpretations becomes useful when the data, when the motion given to you may be an experimental data where the corresponding position, velocity and accelerations may not be the analytical functions of t. This is also the case in case of erratic or non-continuous motions, where we may or we may not be able to get a continuous equation, a mathematical function for expressing the equations of motion. So in this case, graphical interpretations becomes very useful. Usually integral equations of motion and the graphical interpretations are applicable for rectilinear motion. But in certain cases, when a curvilinear motion, that is motion in a curved path, can be described as the superposition of two rectilinear motions. We shall deal with more about this topic in the next lecture, but the point is, here also we can express the motion graphically, maybe one along each coordinate axis. Now we shall look into three typical plots. There are position versus time, velocity versus time, and acceleration versus time. Now let's look into each of these one by one. The first plot is position versus time. Now suppose I have a plot that describes the position of particle with respect to time. Assume this is the corresponding graph. I am plotting the position of the body of a particle with respect to time. Now suppose I take the slope of the corresponding particle, suppose I take the slope of the curve at any instant of time, say t. Now this corresponding slope of the st curve at a time t will give you the velocity of the particle at that instant of time. So the slope of the tangent, remember one thing, the slope of the tangent will give you the velocity at that particular point. So I can write here as ds by dt is equal to v. Now here ds by dt is actually the slope of the st graph, which will be equal to the velocity. Now this is an important point here. So in case you have been given experimentally the corresponding position versus time graph, we can obtain the velocity at any instant of time. If you draw the corresponding slope at each and every, if you find the corresponding slope at each and every point, you will get the velocity at each and every point. Now moving on to the next graph. The next plot is velocity versus time plot. I can obtain the velocity versus time plot from the earlier graph, that is the ST graph, by finding the slope at each and every point. So if I have the ST graph, I can plot out the velocity time graph. Now suppose I have the corresponding velocity time graph somewhat like this. Okay. Now here also I take a point T and I draw the corresponding tangent at that particular point. Now if I find the corresponding slope here, I will obtain acceleration. So dV by dt will give you acceleration. Here dV by dt is actually the slope of the Vt graph. Now another interesting feature. I again plot the velocity time graph. Now the area under the graph, suppose I have two points t0 to t and I find the corresponding area of the graph between the points t0 and t of the plot Vt. Now this corresponding area of the plot will give me the displacement. So delta S will be equal to V dt. Now here delta S is the displacement and integral V dt is area of the Vt graph. So I can write this as area will be equal to S of t minus S of t0, the displacement. The next plot is acceleration time plot. Suppose I find acceleration time plot. Now since we are not differentiating time again, instead of finding the slope of the tangent, I find the area under the AT plot. This corresponding A dt is actually delta V. Now integral A dt is actually the slope, the area under the AT graph. This will give me the change in velocity delta V. So this is actually V of t minus V of t0. So these are the three aspects which we had studied. One is regarding position versus time graph, second velocity versus time graph, and third acceleration versus time graph. In ST graph and VT graph we had studied the differentiation aspect. Okay, and in VT and AT we had studied the area under the curve. So we can use these corresponding graphs when we are given experimental data or when the corresponding motion of the particle is an erratic one. Now let us solve a problem here. A two-stage rocket is fired vertically from rest at s equals 0 with the acceleration as shown. After 30 seconds, the first stage A burns out and the second stage B ignites. Plot the velocity time and the position time graphs which describe the motion of the second stage from 0 to less than t to less than 16 seconds. Now, the given data are stage A, that is between 0 to 30 seconds. The corresponding acceleration, we can see that, I'll show you the figure once again. The acceleration increases constantly from 0 to 12 meter per second square. The second stage, that is between 30 and 60 seconds, the acceleration is constant. Now, in the first stage, how do you obtain the corresponding equation of that line? Now, you know that y equals mx plus c. So, in this case, y is a, x is t, m is the slope. So, you get 12 by 30 into t and c is 0. So, this is the corresponding equation. In the second stage, the acceleration is constant at 24 meter per second square. So, we will have to obtain the plots separately for stage A and stage B. Now, let us plot each of these. Let us come to the first graph, VT graph. Now, during the first stage, okay, between 0 and 30 seconds, okay, as such, the corresponding acceleration is constant. So, I can use the corresponding equation v equals a dt. Now, if I integrate both sides, now initially the corresponding rocket fires. So, you have a value, initial velocity 0, and at the end of the first stage, we don't know the value of velocity, so we write here t. Now, the limits of dt, you have initially the time t equals 0, and finally you know the corresponding value of time t equals 30 seconds, but I shall write t as it is because I want to obtain the equation of that line. So v is equal to, you have here 0 to t, 12 by 30 t dt. Now, this will give me 1 by 5 t square, 1 by 5 t square. So, velocity v during the first stage is 1 by 5 t square. Now, I shall substitute the value of t equals 0 and t equals 30 seconds to obtain the velocities at the two boundary. So, v at t equals 0, if I substitute, I will get 0 meter per second, and v at t equals 30 seconds, if I substitute, I will get t square, that is 30 square divided by 5, I think it's around 800 meter per second, if I remember it correctly. Sorry, 180 meter per second. 180 meter per second. So you have initially the value 0, time 30 second, time 60 second. Now plotting along this axis, t at time equal to 0, we have velocity 0, t at 30 seconds, we have velocity 180. So I'll plot it here 0, 180, I'll plot it somewhere here. Now you see the corresponding graph between Vt square, okay, you will get a parabolic graph because of this corresponding equation. You will get a not a straight line but somewhat of a parabola. Now we'll go to the next stage. Between 30 and 60 seconds. Now the same equation we'll use here. Now here you have the corresponding hence 180 here, the final velocity we don't know. Initially you have the corresponding value of time 30 seconds. Finally, instead of writing 60, I'll write it as t in order to obtain the equation. So v minus 180, a is constant here, a is constant here, ac, that is equal to 24 meter per second square, and you have t minus 30. So as such, v will be equal to 180, I bring it here, plus 24 into t minus 30. Now this equation will turn out to be, okay. Now if I substitute the n conditions, v at t equals 30, if I substitute here, I'll get 180 meter per second, and the final boundary condition t equals 60 seconds. If I substitute, I'll get we substitute 60 seconds here, 60 minus 30, 30, 30, 24 plus 180. I think the answer is 900 meter per second. So at t equals 30, you have here 180. At t equals 60, you have here 900. I think I'll draw the corresponding. Now if you look at closely, this is an equation of a straight line. So from this point onwards, it will be a straight line. So this is a curve, this is a straight line. This is the corresponding plot between V and T. Now moving on to the next, ST graph. Now here, during the first stage between 0 and 30 seconds, we apply the equation ds equals v dt. Initially the value of displacement is 0, final value let it be s equals, now v, the lower limit as such is 0, the final limit in order to obtain the equation I am writing as, now v, as you know from the previous equation, you will get 1 by 5 t square dt. So this will give you s minus 0, s will give you 1 by t cube by 15. Sorry, here is t. Now t cube by 15 from t to 0 is equal to t cube by 15. Now s at t equals 0, you will get 0. S at t equals 30 seconds, you will get 30 cube divided by 15. I think it is 1800 meters. 1800 meters. So if I plot the graph, now here it is again t cube by 15. So my equation will be somewhat like this. Now moving on to the second stage, between 30 and 60 seconds we use the same equation, ds equals v dt. Integrate both sides, ds from 1800 to s v dt, time from 30 seconds. In order to obtain equation, I will not write here 60 but t itself. Now s minus 1800 will give you here v. From the previous plot we can obtain v for stage B. It is 180 plus 24 into t minus 30. dt. Now if you solve this, you will get the corresponding equation, 12 t square minus 540 t plus 7200 meters. Now I substitute the value at t equals 0, I will get 1800 meters. I substitute the value at the final end, t equals 60. Now if I substitute here, I think I will get the value of 18000 meters, almost 10 times. So as such, times. So maybe I'll have to increase this a little bit. One 8000. All these are in meters, okay? So I'll get as such somewhat like this. This is also not actually a straight line but a curve. Okay, you can see from that it is actually not a straight line but a curve. So this is how you plot the corresponding ST graph. So remember one thing, while plotting, just be careful that you take the boundary conditions of time, distance, velocity, etc. properly, so that you don't get mixed up. That is the only issue we should be wary of. And when you draw the graph, look at the corresponding equation of the graph. That is why here, if you see, instead of applying the final limit as it is, what I did, I used the expression t here, so that I can obtain the corresponding equation. If I only know these values, I will not be able to obtain the plot properly. So if I know the equation of the line, okay, approximately, it may not be perfectly, but approximately, then I can draw the plot almost perfectly. Or you can use any computer programming to obtain the value at each and every second. So try it out at home if you can create a computer program to plot these graphs. So with that, we'll wind up this session. As I said, the graphical interpretations becomes useful in case the data is given experimentally or in case of non-erratic motions. Okay, thank you. We'll move on to the next Cartesian coordinate system in the next class.